The only thing the LA Lakers has in common with the Indiana Pacers is that they want their own star player, Buddy Hield. Now, the Pacers are willing to give up Hield for the right price, and also willing to move Russell Westbrook for him. Now, they contacted the Charlotte Hornets and said, hey, let's make a deal, baby. Well, the Charlotte Hornets responded with yes, and now we have a 3-team blockbuster trade that is for the ages. Now, this is just all NBA trade rumors, I get it, but you guys, mark my words, this trade could very well happen. We all know the Lakers had their big three at the beginning of the preseason. Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook, LeBron James, right? So they thought that they could win a championship with that three. But as sure enough as it happened, it became a big one, and Russell Westbrook fit in like a camel in the desert. He just wasn't hitting his mid-range, and his name ended up on the trading block. The Hornets, on the other hand, they ended the regular season with a solid record. I believe they went 43-39, but they lost to the Hawks in that play-in game. Their offense was legit. It was 9th ranked in the league, but their defense, it just wasn't there yet. I specifically remember the Hornets hemorrhaging points nightly to opposing teams. And to remedy their woes on the less fun end during the offseason, they need to be a genuine postseason squad. And what will make them that is a defensive presence. But this seems like a long time ago as we transition to the Pacers. But we had high expectations coming into this year. Vegas pegged them as an above 500 team with a 42.5 game over and under. And that was higher than the Grizzlies, if you all remember. Also the Pelicans, the Timberwolves, the Raptors, and the Hornets. But like we saw happening right in front of our very eyes, they suffered a thorough of variety injuries and became sellers at the trade deadline, cementing their status as a lottery team. Well, Indiana did deal their best player in Domantas Sabonis, and they got a haul in return in Tyrese Halliburton. Now, if I was pitching this trade idea to Hood's coach, Rick Carlisle, I would recommend the LA Lakers, the Hornets, and the Pacers engage in a 3-team deal that is blockbuster with a capital B, baby. Let's start with the specifics. The Los Angeles Lakers will receive Malcolm Brogdon, Terry Rozier. Now let's move on to the Charlotte Hornets. They will receive Russell Westbrook, Miles Turner, and a 2027 first-round pick via the Lakers. And Indiana, we would receive Gordon Heyward, PJ Washington, Montrezl Harrell via a signing trade, and my boy, Talen Horton-Tucker. Now, I know that was a lot of information, so I'm going to go ahead and put up this trade in the screen right now. So, I'm going to leave this up here until we get finished with the odds and ends of this trade. Let's start with the Lakers. They would upgrade their backcourt immediately with Malcolm Brogdon and Terry Rozier. And they would be shipping out ill-fitting Russell Westbrook. The dude is a camel, for Christ's sakes. Charlotte would bring in a genuine rim protector in Miles Turner while clearing their cap space for the summer of 2023. And my Pacers would land 2 solid young players, PJ Washington and Talen Horton-Tucker, along with some solid veterans like Montrezl Harrell and Gordon Hayward. Now, the Los Angeles Lakers starting lineup would look a little like this. PG Malcolm Brogdon, shooting guard Terry Rozier, then you got LeBron, Anthony Davis at the 4, and Bismack Biyombo at the 5. Now, it's no secret across the league that the Lakers would like nothing to do more than trade Russell Westbrook over this summer. Now, I know Westbrook gets a ton of heat for being the sole reason the Purple and Gold lost nearly 50 games this year, but it wasn't all his fault. But what we really saw is his presence alone ensured the Lakers had next to no spacing on the floor, and they had no point of attack on defense. We all know Malcolm Brogdon is a steady offensive point guard when he's right, and that's when he's right and not injured. But the problem is, he's often injured more times than not. His constant injury woes would be a significant concern for the Lakers squad, and they ran out of 727 unique 5-man lineups during last season. That's insane. Despite the risk, though, they have no choice but to roll the dice with Brogdon and hope he stays healthy, because outside of a few teams looking to clear cap space of summer 2023, it's going to be nearly impossible to trade Russell Westbrook's massive $47 million player option for next season. They need to get this deal done ASAP. And with Brogdon has never really played with any type of intensity or intuitiveness on the defensive side of the ball. He needs to become elite. And when you become an elite defender, the game becomes fun. The Lakers are going to need him to step it up. and go from week 1 and hit the ground running. He needs to snake as a defender, and he needs to at least average the veteran minimum. Now, Terry Rozier, the dude is one of the most durable and explosive offensive threats in the NBA. Now, over the past few seasons, he's averaged 19 points per game, 4 boards, 4.5 dimes, and shooting a cool 37.4% for the Hornets during last season. Now, his quick first step to get by his defender creates a ridiculous amount of space, and it allows him to operate at will shooting off the dribble. If they added Brogdon and Rozier to this offense, they would be scary, but they still need to fill that void on the center position on the defensive backcourt, and they could do so via Hassan Whiteside. And after falling out of the league, the Phoenix Suns picked him up during the middle of the regular season, and he played well enough to be part of their regular rotation. Bismack Biyombo and Anthony Davis would have to do their best Rudy Gobert impersonation, playing impassioned in backline defense, covering up for Brogdon and Rozier's perimeter breakdowns for the Lakers to actually have another chance next season. Mark my words, you guys. If AD and Brogdon can stay healthy this entire next season, they will actually become the favorites to win the NBA Finals. And I put that on everything. Let's move on to the Charlotte Hornets. They're going to get a top-tier rim protector and a new point guard. Their starting lineup would look a little like this. You got Brodie at the PG, LaMelo Ball at the shooting guard, Miles Bridges at small forward, Kelly Oubre Jr. at power forward, and Miles Turner at center. Now, many NBA executives really think that the Hornets have a chance to trade for Russell Westbrook. And the Hornets' logic is just simple. LaMelo Ball and Miles Bridges form an excellent young core for the Hornets, but they're just one superstar away from becoming genuine title contenders next season. And I really saw that as they played a tough Eastern Conference. Adding Russell Westbrook could go one of two ways. Very badly if it doesn't work out in the first month, or Miles Turner, and that solves a defensive need right now. So let's move on to the Indiana Pacers. The Pacers starting lineup is going to look a little like this. Tyrese Halliburton at PG, Buddy Hield at the 2, Chris Duarte at small forward, Gordon Heyward playing power forward, and PJ Washington filled in that center position. Now, the Indiana Pacers were a mess to say the least last season. They were in full rebuild mode after all those injuries hit. They had a second worst defensive rating in the league after the All-Star game. And granted, Miles Turner was out, but after the NBA's Classic, Indiana ranked 26th in defensive rebound percentage, 70, and was 18th in contested shots, which were 51 per game. They were able to add youth to the squad after the trade deadline, and they still need to do more to be able to come back for playoff contention next season. Indiana would be wise to trade the often injured duo of Malcolm Brogdon and Miles Turner. While they still hold value at this point, they might not at the end of next season. A package centered around Gordon Heyward, PJ Washington, and Talen Horton-Tucker is not really a poor return. And two players that have missed nearly half of the season, you're going to get that back tenfold. The player that excites me most in this trade for the Pacers is Talen Horton-Tucker. The dude is dripping with potential. He struggled with the Lakers, yes, but I believe that was more of a system thing than a player thing. So, it's often too short of time to find a legitimate or the Indiana Pacers. In my opinion, it's the Pacers. They're able to get rid of the old and bring in the new, to start fresh, and to try to make a run to the NBA playoffs with this young core. Just let me know in the comment section what you guys think. And tomorrow, we'll be back better than ever with some more Indiana Pacers basketball. And like always, you already know, I'll save y'all a seat. Peace.